Good morning, Darksunians. Today we're in John chapter 4. All right. When therefore the Lord knew how the Pharisees had heard that Jesus made and baptized more disciples than John, though Jesus himself baptized not, but his disciples, he left Judea and departed again into Galilee. And he must needs go through Samaria. Then cometh he to a city of Samaria, which is called Sychar, near to the parcel of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph. Now Jacob's well was there. Jesus, therefore, being wearied with his journey, sat thus on the well, and it was about the 6th hour. There cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Jesus saith unto her, Give me to drink. For his disciples were gone away unto the city to buy meat. Then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, How is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. Jesus answered and said unto her, If thou knewest the gift of God, and who it is that saith to thee, Give me to drink, thou would have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. The woman saith unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence that thou hast that living water? Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well, and drank thereof himself, and his children, and his cattle? Jesus answered and said unto her, Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again, but whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst, but the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. The woman saith unto him, Sir, give me this water, that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw. Jesus saith unto her, Go, call thy husband, and come hither. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Jesus said unto her, Thou hast well said, I have no husband, for thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou now hast is not thy husband, in that saidst thou truly. The woman saith unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Our fathers worshipped in this mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. Jesus saith unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain, nor yet at Jerusalem, worship the Father. Ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshippers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh such to worship him. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. The woman saith unto him, I know that Messiah cometh, which is called Christ. When he is come, he will tell us all things. Jesus saith unto her, I that speak unto thee am he. And upon this came his disciples, and marveled that he talked with the woman. Yet no man said, What seekest thou? Or, Why talkest thou with her? The woman then left her water pot, and went her way into the city, and saith to the men, Come, see a man which told me all things that ever I did. Is not this the Christ? Then they went out of the city and came unto him. In the meanwhile his disciples prayed him, saying, Master, eat. But he said unto them, Have meat to eat that ye know not of. Excuse me. Therefore said the disciples one to another, Hath any man brought him aught to eat? Jesus saith unto them, My meat is to do the will of him that sent me, and to finish his work. Say not ye, There are yet 4 months, and then cometh harvest? Behold, I say unto you, Lift up your eyes, and look on the fields, for they are white already to harvest. And he that reapeth receiveth wages, and gathereth fruit unto life eternal, that both he that soweth and he that reapeth may rejoice together. And herein is that saying true, One soweth and another reapeth. I sent you to reap that whereon ye bestowed no labor. Other men labored, and ye are entered into their labors. And many of the Samaritans of that city believed on him, for the saying of the woman which testified, He told me all that ever I did. So when the Samaritans were come unto him, they besought him that he would tarry with them, and he abode there 2 days. And many more believed because of his own word, and said unto the woman, Now we believe, not because of thy saying, for we have heard him ourselves, and know that this is indeed the Christ, the Savior of the world. Now after 2 days he departed thence, and went into Galilee. For Jesus himself testified that a prophet had no honor in his own country. Then when he was come into Galilee, the Galileans received him, having seen all the things that he did at Jerusalem at the feast. For they also went unto the feast. So Jesus came again into Cana of Galilee, where he made the water wine. And there was a certain nobleman, whose son was sick at Capernaum. When he heard that Jesus was come out of Judea into Galilee, he went unto him and besought him that he would come down and heal his son, for he was at the point of death. Then said Jesus unto him, Except ye see signs and wonders, ye will not believe. The nobleman saith unto him, Sir, come down, ere my child die. Jesus saith unto him, Go thy way, thy son liveth. And the man believed the word that Jesus had spoken unto him, and he went his way. And as he was now going down, his servants met him and told him, saying, Thy son liveth. Then inquired he of them the hour when he began to amend. And they said unto him, Yesterday, at the 7th hour, the fever left him. So the father knew that it was at the same hour in the which Jesus said unto him, Thy son liveth, and himself believed, and his whole house. This is again the second miracle that Jesus did when he was come out of Judea into Galilee. All right. So, the Samaritan woman at the well. So, in Matthew, I don't remember going over the Samaritan woman, but I do understand that they didn't have any dealings with the Samaritans. And back in Matthew, Jesus says something about the feast where the king calls the people to the feast and they don't show up. So he has to get other people. All right. So when they start having the conversation, the woman says, Hey, you're a Jew and you want me to to get you a drink. You guys have no dealings with us. And he said, if you knew the gift of God and who it is that says this to you, give me to drink, you would have asked of him, and he would have given, or you would have asked of me, and or the person, and he would have given the person would have given you living water. So she says, you don't even have anything to draw with. The well is pretty deep, and we've been drinking out of this for a long time. He says, well, whosoever drinks of the water that I give is going to be different. He said, if you drink out of this, you'll be thirsty again. But if you take the water I offer, you will never thirst again. You will have a well of water springing up into everlasting life. And the woman says, give me this water. And so I wouldn't have to come to draw. And he says, go call thy husband and come back. And she says to him, I have no husband. He says, well, you told the truth. You have no husband, for you've had 5 husbands, and the one that now has you is not your husband. So in that you spoke truly. And the woman says, I perceive that thou art a prophet. And she talks about how people were told to worship in the mountains, but he says people worship in Jerusalem. He says, well, the hour comes when you won't need to be in this mountain or at Jerusalem to worship the Father. So he goes out and she gets all the people in the city, and they come out and they believe on him for the saying of the woman which testified, he told me all that I had, or that ever I did, meaning all that I'd ever done. It's we skipped the reap and sow. Sorry. All right, so Jesus says after he talks with the girls, and then the disciples come and try to get him to eat, and he says, my food isn't to do the will. My food is to do the will of him that sent me and to finish his work. And he relates a parable. He says, there are yet 4 months, and then comes the harvest. Well, I say to you, look up your eyes and look on the fields, for they are white already to harvest. And he's talking about the people that came out, the people that can be witnessed to. So, and he says, he that reapeth receiveth wages and gathering fruit, that both he that soweth and he that reapeth may rejoice together. And here is that saying true, one soweth and another reapeth. I sent you to reap that whereon ye bestowed no labor. Other men labored, and ye are entered into their labors. So it sounds to me like he's talking about the multitudes came from Sychar to see him because of the labor of the woman, because the woman had told them. So he's saying, you get to go out there and reap all these people into our understanding and acceptance of God and in faith in me. And the woman did the sowing for you. She was the one that communicated what he had told her. All right. Another example of great faith. Now, a nobleman comes and he says, oh, wait a minute. We can't skip. No. All right. So Jesus heals the nobleman's son. Now, after 2 days, he departed thence and went into Galilee. For Jesus himself testified that a prophet hath no honor in his own country. Remember that. It means you will face hardships on your ministry for Jesus. All right. Now, this nobleman comes out and he says to Jesus, Sir, come down here ere my child die. And Jesus says to him, Go thy way, thy son liveth. And the man believed the word that Jesus had spoken unto him, and he went his way. So it must have been quite the journey, because as he's journeying down, his servants meet him. Well, let's say it's the halfway point. And they say, your son lives. And he says, well, when did this happen? And they said, yesterday at the 7th hour, the fever left him. So the father knew that it was at the same hour in which Jesus had said unto him, thy son liveth. And he believed in his whole house. This is again the second miracle that Jesus did when he was come out of Judea into Galilee. All right, y'all. Jesus isn't rebuking people and carrying on. He's loving people and healing them. He's not telling them what they did wrong. He's telling them that their faith is right. All right. If we accept the salvation afforded by Jesus dying on the cross for our sins, we get access to the living water. And it will help you in your daily life to pay attention to your actions and try to be good. I'm not saying that you have to lie, sugarcoat, anything like that. You should always tell the truth, but you should always try to be good about it. All right, tomorrow we'll be in chapter 5. Y'all take care. Wise man out.